Happy VA Wednesday. Today I wanted to do an update on buying a condo with a VA mortgage. This is really, really important and I cannot stress it enough. If you're new to the channel, I'm a loan officer. My team's everywhere in America. We're here to help you and we're gonna give you the real deal. We're not gonna give you some BS. So feel free to give us a call, 786-933-2077. Okay, VA and condos. I'm seeing so much stuff that makes me uncomfortable, guys. It is that simple. And what's happened is over the last few years, there's been new regulations that have been put into place that have put a huge burden on condos. And honestly, truly, it's a burden they should have already been doing. Condos that have structural issues need to get them repaired, go figure. There's all these different rules. And so what we've seen is HOA prices go up. We've seen assessments. An assessment, a lot of people don't realize this, but when you buy a condo, if the condo, let's say, has $10,000 in reserves, but they need a new roof for $2 million, they're knocking on your door saying, hey, your share is XYZ, you need to give me this money. And if you can't get them that money or there's not a way to finance it, they can foreclose on you. Yeah, a lot of condos have the ability to foreclose on you. And look, sometimes the money they need, it's not for something useful like a roof. It could be something stupid that you totally don't agree with. You could have a couple people on the board that want to do a fancy new entryway. And you're like, we don't even need an entryway, but you're about to lose your house because they want it. And as the board, they have the ability to vote for it and levy the assessment. Yeah, that sounds crazy, right? It's what happens, okay? So that's one thing. There's more assessments happening all the time. When you're buying a place, you're like, well, don't they have to tell us if there's upcoming assessments? Only if they're laid out. So a lot of times what happens is people are looking at buying a condo, they're not looking at the condo docs. They're just going with whatever the real estate agents are saying. They end up in the place and then 2 months later, they're getting a $30,000 bill for an assessment. Okay, we're gonna talk about more of that in a minute. What scares me with VA is that if a VA condo is, if a condo is VA approved, as a lender, we do not ask for anything except for proof of insurance. That's it. And what's actually funny is we've had a couple deals we couldn't do recently because they're not even properly insured. I'm not kidding. We had one where the condo building's like, oh, here's our insurance. We're like, that doesn't insure your roof. They're like, yeah, we can't get that. Well, guess what? We can't close the loan. How are we supposed to close the loan where if the roof blows off, it just doesn't get replaced, right? So if a condo is VA approved, all the lender is looking at is the insurance. That's it. Terrifying. Terrifying. Would I buy a condo and not look at any of the docs? No. And here's the thing. People go, well, it's VA approved. It's safe. Guys, it could have been approved 20 years ago. They're not checking it yearly. It's actually something that's really concerning. I was talking to a real estate agent recently and he's like, oh yeah, Jen, I finally dumped that property you told me to get rid of. And I told him to get rid of it because I'm like, this thing's a liability. Like there's no good that's gonna come from this condo. Like you need to get out. I'm like, how the hell did you sell it? Because when I had told him to sell it, like there were no assessments yet. It was just the beginning, but now it had assessments and everything else. He's like, oh, you'll never believe this. But like this guy from out of state, like he never even saw it. His real estate agent never even saw it. I'm like, what type, like was it cash? No, it was a VA loan. And I was like, you did what? I was pissed. I was like, But look, he's the seller. He wasn't even representing himself. He had another real estate agent represent himself. So you have the seller, you've got these two real estate agents, you've got a veteran. The veteran and his real estate agent never even went to the property. The property was VA approved 1,000 years ago, and it's a total money pit, 100% a money pit, right? And after I explained this all to him, he was like, oh, Jen, I didn't know. He's like, I thought, like he didn't know. No one knows this stuff unless you're a lender. No one knows this stuff unless you've been a condo owner that's had to physically feel the pain. They don't know. right? And that's why we're doing this video, because I want you to know. Just because a condo is VA approved does not mean that it's not going to be the biggest money pit of your life. Doesn't mean that, right? It just means that once upon a time, this condo met VA guidelines. Does it meet them now? Probably not. Probably not. A lot of them, probably not. You know, in this instance, you couldn't finance this property with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac because it was on a naughty list for not being a great idea. But it was VA approved a long time ago, so it was fine for a veteran. Okay, so what do you have to do to protect yourself? Because that's the question, right? If you're buying a condo and it's already VA approved, do not take that as proof that it is a good investment or that you're not going to have issues. You need to make sure you're asking for the building's meeting notes for at least the last year. You should be able to get that. If your real estate agent says, oh, no one needs that, no one wants to give you that, yeah, guess what? I'm not gonna buy the condo. Would I personally buy a condo knowing what I know now? Oh, that hurts. Without a year of building notes? No. God, no. No, not unless I was just willing to give up that money. And the reason I say that is because it's always in the building meeting notes. It's those HOA board meetings where they start talking about stuff like, oh yeah, we got to replace the roof. It's getting bad. We got to replace the roof. It's getting bad. That tells you as a potential homeowner, hey, my dues are going to go up or there's going to be an assessment. And if you're like, well, how will I know if there's going to be an assessment? Look at the budget. You can always get a copy of the budget. They're supposed to be giving you condo docs when you buy a house. It's not the lender that does it. Generally, you're getting it through the real estate agent or through the title company, but look at the budget. If you look at the budget and you go, okay, I'll give you an example. So in New York, I own a co-op. We bought it before we knew all this stuff I'm sharing with you today. I looked at the budget recently and I just started laughing. The reserves that the building has, it's 3 separate buildings in New York, guys, $4,000. They have $4,000 in reserves. That's freaking horrible. What that means is that if anything in that building breaks, they're going to increase our dues or they're going to do an assessment. They've done assessments before. That's basically how they run the books. Whenever something big needs to be replaced, they increase the HOAs by like $3,000 a month for a certain period of times. It's bonkers, and buildings can do that. So you guys want to make sure you're looking at the budget. Budgets are pretty easy, right? They're line itemed out. And you want to make sure that you agree with the stuff that they're spending money on. For instance, I was looking at the budget for a bougie Miami Beach condo, and I literally saw that they had $1 million set up per year for entertainment. It's a freaking condo building. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little crass, but it's a condo building. Like, would I buy into a building where my HOAs are going towards $1 million entertainment budget? No, absolutely not. You know, the budget is showing you how the HOA board thinks, and that's really important. And look, you may be in a situation where you're like, I'm gonna get on the HOA board. I encourage you to be on the HOA board because it's the only way you can control your wallet, truly, seriously. So look, just because it's VA approved does not mean it's a good investment. At a bare minimum, you need to make sure you're getting the building notes and you're looking for if there's any big repairs coming up. I would also be asking that question in writing and having your real estate agent ask that question in writing. You guys would be so surprised how many deals that we have blow up right before closing. This is on conventional loans, condos, where we find out that there was an assessment about to come, the seller knew and they didn't tell anyone. That's what sellers do. They find out, they hear the rumors that, oh, there's gonna be this big bill. So what they do is they try to dump their place before you figure it out. So you wanna make sure you're asking in writing, are there any upcoming assessments? You want to read those building notes, the building meeting notes for at least the last year. Look for any potential assessments. Talk to people in the building. Are there any potential assessments? And then you want to make sure you're looking at the budget. Make sure you're going through it and you agree with what they're spending their money on. Sometimes you'll see stuff, you'll be like, whoa, that does not look right. And it is embezzlement. Google condo HOA embezzlement. I'm not kidding, right? But if you get to the bottom and they have like $4,000 or $10,000 in reserves, and you're looking at the building and you're like, woo, the siding's old, the roof is old, the windows are old. Guess what? There's gonna be an assessment. So look, bottom line, careful out there. There's a lot of lenders that aren't going to tell you guys this, probably because they don't even realize it. But just because a condo is VA approved does not mean it's a safe investment for you. You need to do your due diligence. Do not count on anyone else doing it for you. As your lender, I can't even ask for that stuff if it's VA approved. I just ask for the insurance. So please, please, please protect yourself out there. All condos are not doomed, but you need to have your eyes wide open right now. Questions, comments, as always, feel free to reach out. We are here to help you home, but I want to make sure that once you get home, you can stay there. Thanks for watching.